Hey, good morning. Welcome to the JeepSolid garage. So today we're going to be covering how to install new timing chain, new sprockets, get the timing chain cover on there, all that good stuff coming up.
Rattlesnakes! Don't drop it.
Yeah, I'm going to need to see what you...
Stop! And in our Engine Tech kit here, this is our gasket kit. This kit was given to me by Engine Tech to do a review and installation video on. And here's our timing chain covered gasket right there. And our new sprockets for the crankshaft, camshaft, and the new timing chain. And we need our new seal for our crankshaft, which is in our kit here. There we go. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe as I take you through a lot of how-to repair videos. This is a Project 92 YJ I'm working on, doing a complete rebuild on. As you can see, I'm in the middle of the rebuild on the engine. All of this will be linked in the description below. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to drive the old seal out and get our new one in there. It's such a nice day outside, so I want to do a little bit of this work out here. Okay, now we're going to drive our new seal in place here into the timing chain cover. And a few tips. The first thing we're going to do on our new seal here, we're going to put a little bit of oil around the rim of it here. We want to get it nice and lubed up before we put it in. And then we're going to take a, I'm actually going to start with a flat board to get it started in nice and straight. But then once we get it going, you're going to want to use like a socket or something that's just slightly smaller than the seal to drive it in, because this seal goes in a little bit recessed into the valve, into the timing chain cover here. Alright, we got our seal in there nicely. Now we can move on to our timing chain and sprockets. Alright, here we have our oil slinger on here. We're going to take this off and reuse it. And our old sprocket off the crankshaft here. So we're going to pull this bolt, get these things off there, get this old sprocket out of the way. And when we're taking this off, make sure to notice that this oil slinger, it's cupped outwards away from the engine. And you'll notice this sprocket is keyed right here, and that little dot right there is a timing mark, and pay attention to that because we're going to use that to line it up with the other sprocket. Alright, now here's our new timing chain kit, our new sprockets. So we're going to go ahead and throw our chain on here on the sprocket for the camshaft and the sprocket for the crankshaft here. Now I'm kind of getting these roughly lined up with the little timing marks. That's these two little dots right here. We're going to want those perfectly in the center, lined up right through the center of both of these sprockets. And when we slide this on, you got your little keyed mark right there. This has a little spot right there that goes on the camshaft to line it up. And once all these things are together like that, we can slide it on. And I'm going to put just a little bit of oil where this sprocket here goes on the crankshaft. So this sprocket will go on like that because this little stud has to go into that spot right there. My timing mark is right there, and I want that pointed right down to the crankshaft here. So I need to rotate this a little bit before I put the chain on here. And same thing with the crankshaft sprocket here. So we've got our little key right there. We're going to line it up Actually, that's backwards. It goes this way. So we're gonna have that key lined up, but we need this little timing mark rotated around so it lines up with that one. So we're gonna get it in its rough position. I'm just gonna double check my alignment here with a straight edge real quick, making sure that those two timing marks are lined up nicely in the center here. Looks pretty good. We can go ahead and take the sprockets off, put the chain on, and assemble the whole thing. All right, let's carefully pull these sprockets back off without turning them at all. And get our chain set up here. Lining up our two timing marks. That looks about right, so it should slide right on there. Just putting this guy in temporarily because I don't want it falling off. Now that looks pretty good right there. Our two timing marks are lined up just perfect. Make sure that when I line up my straight edge that the timing marks are lined up with the center of the crank and the camshaft there. It looks perfect. And now if your timing marks are off just a little bit, you might be off one tooth on your chain. So just pull things off, line it back up, and reinstall. And the other way we know everything is in alignment properly, number one piston is at top dead center. So here's my new chain. Let's look back at what my old chain looked like. Some play in there. We'll see how much play we have in our new chain when we get our rebuild kit here. So we still have some slack in here, but not quite as much. Now on our camshaft here, just make a mess. On our camshaft sprocket, hold it in place. I'm gonna get just a little tiny dab of oil on the bolt, and then we got our washer on there. We are gonna torque this. And to keep it from turning, we're just going to wedge a screwdriver in there to hold it. And I've got just a little bit of oil on my tension spring and our thrust pin. We'll get those guys installed. Let's get our oil slinger back on there. And now here's our gasket. So we're going to put a bead of RTV around on the outside here, then stick our gasket on, then we're going to put our RTV over the top of the gasket as well. Now that we've got everything in place, we can go ahead and put our cover on here, but first we're going to put a little bit of oil right on our seal here. We don't want to run this in there dry. Just a little bit of engine oil. We're going to line everything up, slip it on, get a couple bolts in just to kind of hold it in place. All right, now before we go torquing this down, you can see it's still a little loose there. We want to take our vibration damper here and slip this on to help align this seal right here. It has a little bit of movement. If you torque this down and then put this on afterwards, this could be offset a little bit, off-centered, so you can get a little bit of a leak around there. So a little bit of oil on this guy. We got a little bit of oil on the seal already. Little oil on the vibration damper here and slip it on. Now that we got everything lined up, we can go ahead and snug these down, and we're going to torque all these to 62 inch-pounds. To get this last guy down here, we'll probably have to pull this guy back off, which is fine, but I wanted it in place just to Keep everything lined up nice and straight. Alright, got the vibration damper off there, so now we can get these last two and torque everything down nice and even. Of course, I took that back off after I had some of these snug so it wouldn't move around on me. Alright, so new timing chain, sprockets, got the cover on there, everything looks good. Alright, a little bit of oil on the vibration damper bolt here. We got our washer in place. We can torque this guy down to 80 foot-pounds. So be sure to check out the next video that's coming up right here. And if my videos have helped you out and you're interested in helping support the JeepSolid Garage, my Patreon page is linked below. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.